This is the In My Grow Show, a podcast dedicated to taking the mystery out of cannabis. I am your host, Alex Robles. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. The sun's out. It's a little chilly though, I gotta tell you. You know, it's about 60 degrees. Wind's blowing, makes it feel about 58. You know, I need to put a jacket on. I need to put some socks on. I put my flip-flops on, so, you know, can't wait for winter to be over. It'll be nice. So before I go any further, I want to thank once again DJ Monster Drop. Brother, how you doing today? I also want to thank bensound.com for letting me use their music for my intro. And I want to thank you for showing up and hanging out, taking some time and listening to me. So let's see, today we're going to cover some news stories. Then we're going to talk a little bit about social media, your kids, and cannabis. I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine a couple nights ago. What else? And we're going to wrap up our little conversations about terpenes. Today we're only going to cover one, beta caryophyllene. I like this one. I'm going to let the music play for a little bit, and when I come back, we'll see what's in the news. Alright, mi gente, my people, that's right. I found this article in the newspaper, or on my phone anyways, and it took place in New Zealand, but I guess this happened back in October. And the headline reads, Cannabis researcher facing possible jail terms after hundreds of plants found at Christchurch home. That's not good. A Christchurch man caught with 247 cannabis plants at a suburban home claims he was researching how to grow it to get work in the medical marijuana industry in Australia. Nari Yun Cho, 32, pled guilty to the Christchurch District Court on Thursday, charges of cultivating cannabis after the plants were found growing in a Stanmore Roadhouse on October 1. I guess he had a flood. Or, you know, something happened with his irrigation system and flooded the house, and the water was running out into the street. Somebody called the fire department, and they came out and found his grow house. See, it's never good when first responders show up. No, let me take that back. It's never good when first responders show up to your grow house for something stupid, okay? Let's see, it goes on to say he claimed he was being consulted by the medical cannabis industry in Australia. Okay, I was cultivating new breeds from what I found, thinking it was okay if I didn't sell anything, tell anyone, or affect anyone. Mistakes have been made, lessons have been learned, he said. Wow. This is Nori Yung Chow speaking. Okay, and his lawyer says defense counsel Rupert Ward told the judge it was a unique situation as Chow was growing the cannabis to research different varieties of the plant and how they respond to various soil types. Chow told police he was doing research with the intention of obtaining work as a grower with a medical marijuana research company in Australia. Alright, and it says police found 247 plants and 100 seeds, some packaged and labeled according to the strains they were expected to produce. Okay, let's see. Police prosecutor Sergeant Kathy Promfret said he had not sold any of the cannabis that he had harvested, explaining that he had recycled the cannabis material into composting it into worm feed to attain a fertilizer specifically tailored to producing the highest quality of cannabis. So in other words, this guy had a grow house that he was using to learn how to grow cannabis, and after he harvested, he just composted it into his worm bin? And they wound up giving him house arrest and probation. I mean, it's interesting. He didn't sell anything. It was against the law, though. I wonder if they would have let that fly in one of the prohibition states here in America. Well, what do you think? Let me know. Shoot me an email, inmygrow@gmail.com, or find me on Instagram, @inmygrow. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, man. And it says here he wasn't growing in the house he and his family were living in. He had rented a separate house just to grow in. His family, he has 3 kids. Him and his family live somewhere else. Wow. All right. Yeah, let me know what you think. All right, so the other article I found, CBS News, but I think they downloaded it from the Associated Press, I think is where I first saw it. The headline reads, experts recommend lowering drunken driving thresholds to prevent deaths. So the article basically says that they want to lower the threshold from 0.08 to 0.05. And they say that this would lower drunk driving impaired deaths. Right now it holds at about 10,000 a year just on drunk driving deaths. So what does that mean? To lower the blood alcohol level to 0.05? Well, it says here that a 150-pound man might be over the 0.05 limit after 2 beers. Me, that'd probably be like a beer and a half since I don't drink a lot. Anyways, while a 120-pound woman could exceed it after a single drink, according to the American Beverage Institute, a national restaurant group. Well, now, I think some states already do this, though. I think Utah has a 0.05 rate. I'm almost sure about that. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, that'd be rough, man. That'd be rough. You'd really have to think about that beer after work, right? You'd be like, ooh, can't have more than one. Can't finish that second one. You might be over. If you get pulled over, could be a bad night. Yeah. So, there you go, folks. It could be coming. You're only going to be able to drink at home, which is good. Keeps you off the road if you're too drunk. All right, I'm going to push pause, and I'll be back in just a moment. So, Podcast Nation, we're back. I'm back. We, the royal we, me and my dog Dante are back. And Albert. Albert's my producer. If anyone ever comes to the studios, you'll meet Albert. And Dante, probably. Alright, but, here we are. We're back. And I want to talk about something that's just, I don't get. Okay, so, out here in California, dispensaries are a trip. Okay, because when you go into, every dispensary I've gone in California, it's always, you go in through a security door into a lobby, okay, a waiting room basically, where you get signed in, they take your medical card and your license, and they sign you in. And then you go through another security door, right? That's 2 security doors in order to get into a dispensary, right? And typically, when it's your turn, a bud tender comes to the door, calls your name out, and they help you with everything you need, all your questions and purchase. And it got me thinking, and consequently me and a buddy of mine were talking, it's like, the vibe is real militant for just so you can buy cannabis. And I went with another buddy to a gun shop. My other buddy, he's into guns, and that's cool, man. Nothing wrong with guns. I love shooting guns, and I'm all for guns. But it just made me wonder. It made me kind of put them both together. There's more security at a cannabis dispensary than there is at a gun store. Now let's think about that, okay? The dispensary doesn't sell any weapons. I think the most dangerous thing they have there is a lighter, okay? Whereas a gun store, I think the most non-lethal thing they have there is a lighter. So, I don't know. Kind of weird. It seems that little security measure regulation seems a little hysterical. Just a little hysterical, guys. Really? In Las Vegas, they just got legal cannabis. Okay, I mean, California's had some form of legal cannabis, medical, for at least 20 years. Vegas just got it less than a year ago. and they already have a drive-through. Fuck, that's gonna make Vegas so much more fun to me now, because I'm not a gambler. You know, I like to bowl. When I go there, I go to the, the Orleans. The Orleans. Last time I went, it's been a few years though. They've got, bowling lanes. I love bowling. But anyways, if you're in California, what do you think? What have you seen that's totally ridiculous with new regulations? Or even if you're not in California, for anywhere where you have a medical program, let me know. Get a hold of me. Email me. Find me on Instagram. I've been wondering if I should do Twitter or not. It just seems like another thing I have to manage. Don't know if I'm going to. Don't know if I have enough time in my day to take on another social media site. I already spend a lot of time on my phone. I feel like I do anyways. Yeah, I don't know. So, speaking of social media, me and my buddy were talking, and the conversation drifted towards young people, meaning people under the age of 18, cannabis, and social media, and the amount of cannabis use that can be viewed on social media by young people. And does social media hold any kind of responsibility to protecting those young people? And I understand where he was coming from, but I had to remind myself that social media was never built for people under the age of 18. It wasn't meant for them. I don't think people under the age of 18 should be on any kind of social media. I think we as parents of those young people need to be really aware that while it's becoming a more normal thing to see young people with smart devices that cost hundreds of dollars, that we still have to manage the kind of content and the kind of stuff they see. Because while that smart device is a window into the world, you can get on Google and learn just about anything, and get on YouTube and see a video on how to do anything. Okay, we as parents can't be naive. We have to be able to, we have to think about putting limits on that access. Because like I said, while that is a window to the wider world, that window opens up into your kids though too, and shows them a lot of crazy stuff. So I think we have to be parents first before we turn to some other outside industry to want them to police what they're doing. Social media is not meant for young kids. We can't get mad at them if they show adult content on there. Alright, that's my rant about social media and kids and how I feel about it. So I'm going to take a short break and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, Podcast Nation, I'm back. And I'm going to talk about the last terpene that we're going to talk about. Okay, once again, I got this information off of medicaljane.com. They had a lot of good information out there if you're really looking into terpenes and how they affect your cannabis use. Today we're going to talk about beta-caryophyllene. Okay, now, beta-caryophyllene is a sesquiterpene found in many plants such as Thai basil, cloves, cinnamon leaves, and black pepper, and in minor quantities in lavender. Its aroma has been described as peppery, woody, and or spicy. Caryophyllene is the only terpene known to interact with the endocannabinoid systems, the CB2 receptors. Studies show beta-caryophyllene holds promise in cancer treatment plants, Research shows that it selectively binds to CB2 receptors and that it is a functional CB2 antagonist. The Gina Liju et al. Study, wow, that's a big old handle. That was hard to say, huh? Investigated the chemical composition of essential oils isolated from black pepper, of which caryophyllene is a main constituent, and studied its pharmacological properties. Black pepper oil was found to possess antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-noncissoceptive properties. I don't even think I said that right. Like I said, go to medicaljane.com. See if you can pronounce that word. This suggests that high caryophyllene strains may be useful in treating a number of medical issues such as arthritis and neuropathy pain. There you go, folks. Beta caryophyllene. The terpene of terpenes. No, I don't know if that's true or not. Alright, I'm going to take another short break, and then I'll be back with a few more things. Hang tight. Thank you for letting me take that break, everybody. I appreciate it. I just had to get up and take care of some things. I'm still kind of sick, like I said, so keeping my fluids up. I don't want to have you hear me drink water and gulp and cough on air. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is flower or bud versus concentrates. Now, I like flower, I like bud, I like growing it, I like smoking it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a different kind of high than it is when I do concentrates. I don't do a lot of concentrates. The only kind of concentrates I do is a vape cartridge, and that's just out of convenience mostly. I like to use the vape pen if I have to go out to dinner or some kind of social event, or I don't want to roll a joint and come in reeking of cannabis somewhere. It's just easier for me. Not that I care if everybody knows, because everybody knows anyways what I'm doing. But it's just easier for me, I mean, it's hard. If I don't finish the joint, I either have to throw it out or stick it in my pocket. Really? That's, that odor will linger all day. No, but getting back to it. So I don't do concentrates mostly for one reason. Like I said, I like to smoke flower, and when I do concentrates, like let's say I dab, and I don't dab a lot, I've dabbed maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. What it seems like happens to me, and I can only speak about what happens to me, is that smoking concentrates, it saturates my system so much, so quickly, that when I try to get high or get medicated with flower, I don't feel the effects. It seems like just that I have to let that saturation of the concentrates has to go away, basically, or dilute itself, so I can come back to feeling high or intoxicated or medicated off of just smoking flower. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not. I hope it does. But those are the differences for me between flower and concentrates. I know there's a huge concentrate culture out there, a big dabbing culture out there. And they're doing a lot of crazy stuff on distilling, and it's just a crazy scene out there with concentrates. They're doing a lot of amazing things, but it's just not my thing. I guess, I'm old school, I guess. I like to grow my flower if I can and roll it up in a joint. I enjoy it. But like I said, I mean, I think concentrates has its place, but it's just not my go-to. That's all. There's nothing wrong with it. But be careful if you've never done it before. Ooh, man. I remember the first time I did it. Oh, man, I had to sit down for 20 minutes. I forgot my name. I was so lit. I was lit like a Christmas tree. It was, yeah, man, something to experience. Sit down if it's your first time. And don't try to keep up with the big boys either. I think that was my first mistake. Thinking, I'm a grown man, I can take as much as that guy. No, that guy's been training. You know, the guy who actually shows up with the rig, that guy's been training. Don't think you're the same level, please. If you do, like I said, take a seat, ask them to put on some Pink Floyd. All right. What else? Okay, yeah, so last time I was talking about sprouting some seeds. So after I, finished the show last time, I went outside and I was all right, well, let's look at what I've actually got in my seed bank. Now, my seed bank is really just a mason jar with, different film canisters with different seeds. So I wound up, let's see, what did I wind up sprouting or cracking? I did some do-si-do. Like I said, I did do some Gorilla Glue number 4. And I did a few of the cool ones that I made, the F2s. But I also found these old, but I mean old, these Afghan sativa seeds. I don't know how long I've had them, maybe about 7 years. And I also found some Platinum Kush seeds too, which were also about just as old. They didn't really crack, because I did all of them the same, 2 days in a cup of water, 2 days in a paper towel inside of a Ziploc, But the Afghan and the Platinum Kush, I think because they're so old, or maybe it's, just their genetics, just the way they are, that they take a while to sprout up and crack. They didn't sprout up, but, I still have hope. I took those seeds, the Afghan and the Platinum Kush, and I put them in some dirt anyways, because I'm hopeful. You never know what could happen. Maybe they are old enough to where they do need, 2 weeks to sprout up. I don't know, but I've got the time. I can wait and see. Well, mi raza, I think we've reached the end of a show. If you want to get a hold of me, ask me a question, if you got a comment, if you want a suggestion of something we should talk about, email me at inmygrow@gmail.com or find me on Instagram at inmygrow. Okay, if you want to support the show, do me a favor, go over to inmygrow.com. And right there, you're going to find a link that says support the show. That's going to take you to our Patreon page. Now, that page helps me pay for equipment and hosting. If you can, if you feel like you like hanging out with me, let me know. Throw me a couple of bucks. If you can't, don't worry about it, okay? Here's what you can do instead. Tell 3 people about the show. That's it. That's all you got to do. Real easy. Now, if you're a company that wants to advertise on the show, or you want to sponsor the show, once again, you can email me at inmygrow@gmail.com. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, have a beautiful day. And remember to grow, learn, and teach.